friends to tell their friends that we're here. So, Dr. Ahmed, first of all, I want to find out, how was your day today? Did you work from the office or did you work from home?
Today was working from home, working from home today, and yeah, it was a typical Monday. You know, getting the kids ready. Sorry, typical Thursday for me. Getting the kids ready when I'm working from home. That's my duty. And then yeah, I had to do, you know, make sure that I prepare well, because I don't like coming on this platform without preparation. I take it seriously. I take it important. You know, I want to get the best quality information out there so everyone knows exactly what to do to look after their kidneys. So I'm really well prepared. You know, hopefully I can get that across, because doing the simple things well is what makes the biggest difference. And hopefully, you know, that will be the take-home message from today.
Oh wow! So like, it's important to hear that when you're working from home. Oh my god. Okay, I've just got some comments have just come. Sauda to Sanko say no sound, and
Good.
well, I can get sound. Mohammed Sise say no sound, and the sound is echoing. So let's just see that we are getting sound. Are you having any issues with sound there on your side? Are you monitoring?
I can hear you. But everyone knows exactly what to do to look after their kidneys. So I'm really well prepared.
Well, I think I'm okay, because I've just opened up my monitor on my own tablet device that I'm listening, and I don't seem to be having issues so far. Is there any?
Yeah, I mean, I've just logged onto your Facebook page actually, and I can hear myself on there.
Okay. What about, can you hear me when I speak? I think I'm not sure.
What's happening is there's like a bit of a delay, I think.
Yeah, no, there will be a delay when the feed goes out live. So there will be a delay, but in terms of sound, do we have the sound?
The sound is there. I can hear.
Okay, so there's sound.
But I hope those that are really watching, tuned in, can hear us, because you know, if you can, maybe give us a thumbs up so DJ Little can just check. I hope those that are really watching.
Okay, so I think what we're having is you are coming out, but I am not coming out. So I think that's what seems to be happening there. But I'm about to just get that sound out now. So hopefully they'll be able to pick me up now. Yeah, they should be able to pick.
Your sound quality is automatically much better.
My sound quality is much better, right?
Yeah, on my end.
Okay. So anyway, to the viewers, if you're listening to us, Aminata, please let us know. Avril and Mohammed Dabo stays on mute. I think your sound going out okay. My sound seems to be compromised, but I know exactly where we're coming from. So hopefully that can be picked up now. Okay. Okay, that's better now. That's much better. Hopefully that should be able to sort itself out. Okay, Dr. Ahmed, carry on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, so look, you know, it's every second Thursday of March is World Kidney Day. And it's a very important day, because so many of us live with this condition called chronic kidney disease. And a lot of us don't actually know about it, you know, because it doesn't cause symptoms until it is really advanced. And I'll go through, you know, some details shortly. So the whole point is celebrating this day, but also using it as an opportunity to increase the awareness of chronic kidney disease, you know, highlighting the things that that we can do, that we can all do to protect our kidneys. And if you've developed a degree of kidney disease, what you can do to stop that progression. And that is the key thing. How can you stop the progression towards more advanced kidney disease, you know, so that you don't get to the stage where you need dialysis or you need kidney transplantation. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And there are a lot of really simple things. They're simple, but they're not easy, right? They're simple but not easy. But if we create a good habit of implementing and incorporating them into our daily lives, daily activities, we can make a big difference to our kidney health.
That sounds promising. I'm going to hold you to that. After tonight, with the knowledge that you're going to impart in myself and all our viewers, we're going to hopefully take away some good lessons. So first of all, let's start with the basic. Why kiCKeD? And I know we've asked you this when we had you personally, but based today's World Kidney Day, and then first of all, what's the theme for today? What theme are you guys running on today? Living with kidney, and then why kiCKeD?
Yeah, so the theme for World Kidney Day this year is living well with kidney disease. Okay, and look, having kidney disease isn't a condemnation to poor health forever. There is a lot that we can do to manage our kidneys so that they last, and they last so that we can outlast them, because we don't want the kidneys to outlast us. So we want the kidneys to be there until that day comes, that inevitable day when we all make our transition from Earth to the world after here. And the reason why we started kiCKeD was because my CEO Fadi Kamara, she's just really passionate about kidneys. She's a kidney nurse and she works in that discipline. Worked at King's, now working in the kidney renal department at Guy's and St. Thomas Hospital Trust. She saw that a lot of ethnic minority patients were suffering from kidney disease, and unfortunately, a lot of them weren't maybe taking the measures that they could have been taking to stop the progression to what we call end-stage kidney failure, which is when you need dialysis and transplantation. When she pitched this idea to me, I was ecstatic. And because from the other end, I was seeing this in general practice. We were doing random, for whatever reason, you might do a blood test on a patient, and all of a sudden, someone looks super healthy in front of you. Yeah. And then you do a blood test and they have severe kidney damage or significant kidney failure without any symptoms whatsoever. So for me, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to implement measures that will prevent the deterioration of our kidney function before they become severe and significant. I believe, even though doctors like to make prescriptions, but I really believe that the best medicine is that one which doesn't need the prescription of the doctor. It's the one where you can actually, look after yourself. In this case, whether it's exercise, having a healthy weight, watching your diet, salt, etc. All of this really easy to do things, but very difficult to avoid, which I'll be talking about later. So it's an opportunity to get out the health promotion messages out there, both here in the UK, but also taking that knowledge to impact on our people back in Sierra Leone.
Interesting. Sounds very interesting. I just want to also ask another question to say, what does the kidney do for our body? What are the role of the kidney in the human body system, the human system?
You know what? If I've got a really good clip on this, actually. I don't know if you'd be able to allow me to share. It's really interesting. If you,
yep, certainly perhaps do. I will just give you yeah, you should be able to yeah.
Yeah, I'll send it back to you in a second. So what does our kidney do? I mean, I think this is really interesting. Let me just first of all share my screen with you. Okay. So you need to, if you go next to share screen, there's a little arrow. If you click on it, just say you give me permission to share. Yeah, thank you. Brilliant. Okay. Yeah. So, for those who've been with us, supporting us over the years, you will be familiar with this.
Yeah.
Can you see this screen, by the way? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just. Sorry. Let me minimize that. Okay. Let me share my sound. Otherwise, no one will hear. Okay.
I'd like to ask you this question. What's the difference between your liver and your kidney?
They are both the same because they are both working together.
Okay.
I think liver is for digestion.
This person is either raving mad,
And I think kidney is for, I think it's the one that produces the sperm.
or this person is a new couple without an atom of sense.
Kidney, yeah.
Jesus.
It's the price. A liver and a kidney. Liver is like an advice. It's a term in relationship.
What does that mean? What does that mean, people?
Kidney is like maybe someone tells you something now, you're not surprised. You're not like, are you kidding me?
Jesus.
I'm talking about the liver in your body and the kidney in your body.
Medical time. This trachea, your mind. Liver is beside your mind.
What did you say?
Liver is beside your mind.
I never spelled it.
Kidney is beside your libido.
So yes.
Oh man,
Yeah,
fantastic!
does that answer
That's
the
an amazing
question?
clip. That was an amazing clip. Don't. I'm hoping that you're not going to throw that question to me because I probably do a lot worse than those guys.
Well, look, I've put together a very short, maybe just 10 minutes presentation because I know it's really difficult doing it. On this
Shall I just
platform.
respond to one of those answers?
No, God, where is your kidneys? Or what is your kidneys?
So my kidney, because my eldest cousin is called Sydney, the younger brother is called Kidney. So so my mom sent me to the park. So she said to me, "Can you go and get me the liver?" So I turned up. I said to the market woman, "Where is the silver?" that's
one. We should add that onto the clip. Yeah. Brilliant. So should I take you through this presentation quickly?
Yes, please. Let the viewers get to see the presentation. And I take it you're going to talk us through the presentation.
Yes, I'll talk you through it. Absolutely. So let me get rid of that one. Here we go. You see my screen all right, yeah?
Yeah, quite clearly, yes.
Okay, brilliant. So as you said, the theme of this year's World Kidney Day is living well with kidney disease. And at kiCKeD, our aim is really to try, by sharing this information, is to empower you, everyone, towards a better health. I see patients every single day who take their health for granted. I mean, I'm no excuse at all. So a lot of what I'm saying to you here, guys, it's not sort of saying it's easy to do. Why aren't you doing it? It's saying it's good to do it. It's simple, but it's not easy. Okay, and hopefully I'll give you some tips towards making it easy for you. So our kidneys, then.
What's the difference?
We've seen this already. Let's move on. So our kidneys. So here is the truth about our kidneys. We have two kidneys, okay, on either side of our lower back region. That's where they're positioned, at the back of the abdomen. Some people call it the loin or the lumbar region. And the interesting thing is we can live quite comfortably with only one functioning kidneys. So you can lose complete function of one kidney and still be perfectly all right. And that's why kidneys are the only organs where you can actually have a living donor transplanting, sort of donating their kidney towards another person. So what do I mean by that? So for example, if I have a relative who is really unwell and they've developed end-stage kidney failure, and the only thing that's really going to help them is dialysis or kidney transplantation. If I'm healthy and I've got two healthy kidneys, I can actually donate one of my kidneys to that relative, and as long as they'll do tests to make sure that my other kidney was going to serve me well, and I'll be just as healthy as I was before, and they'll be able to function, hopefully, with good health and with the new transplant kidney that they have. So kidney is one of the only organs where you can actually have a living non-organ transplantation and procedure. Now, the kidney is really, really important. It does a lot of really important things. It regulates the amount of water in our body. So, we know that it makes urine, but it actually also reabsorbs water from the urine. So imagine you go on a long trip. Yeah, let me give you an extreme situation. Imagine you are on a desert, and you're stuck on the desert, and you're managing what little amount of water you have. What your kidneys will do, it will stop making lots and lots of urine because it knows it has to preserve that water for your body because your cells need it. The kidneys also filters the blood, so it gets rid of waste products and it keeps the good stuff behind. The waste product, as we all know, comes out as urine. If your kidneys are not working well, that filtration process doesn't happen as it should do. So you get a buildup, an accumulation of toxic products in your body, which can cause confusion, can lead to raised blood pressure, can cause damage to your heart. So lots of complications can happen if your kidneys are not working well. And if they really completely stop, then you might need dialysis or transplantation. What else do our kidneys do? They help to regulate our blood pressure. Blood pressure and kidney function are closely linked. If you have really poorly controlled, so high blood pressure, hypertension, it can cause damage to your kidneys. And as your kidneys get worse, it can make it difficult for us to control our blood pressure as well. So look, one of the key things in terms of managing your kidneys, and if you've got any kidney disease, is managing your blood pressure. And that would include taking medication if you're prescribed medication, exercise, not having a lot of salt in your diet. I'll come on to that shortly. Kidneys help to make something called erythropoietin. You guys might remember Lance Armstrong, the cyclist from Tour de France, who won lots and lots of Tour de France, but it was found to be injecting himself with EPO, so he had to give up all of those medals. It's because EPO makes you make more red blood cells, which carry oxygen around the body. So the more EPO you have, the more red blood cells you have. But if your kidneys are not working well, you make less EPO, and then you become anemic, you become tired, really lethargic and weak. It's also really important for the production of vitamin D, along with sunlight. But the kidneys have a very important role in the active production of vitamin D. So what else is important for our kidneys? So look, chronic kidney disease, as the name suggests, is something that happens over a long period of time. It's associated with getting older. So if we all live long enough, we will all develop a degree of chronic kidney disease at some point. But it's nothing to do with old age. Okay, so it's a key distinction. As we get older, our kidneys will deteriorate, but this will happen faster in some of us than in others, depending on our lifestyle, depending on other health conditions that we may have, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. You get a gradual deterioration, so gradual that you don't even notice it. Most people don't get any symptoms at all. Eventually, when you do start to get symptoms, they're quite vague, but some of the symptoms might include really feeling tired all the time, so that's the anemia, lacking energy, developing fluid, so your legs start to swell up. Now, that's a really, really late sign. If that's developing, and if it's because of chronic kidney disease, then your kidney function has really, really, really deteriorated, and you might need to start dialysis soon. Eventually, it will deteriorate to the point where we call end-stage renal failure, end-stage kidney failure, and the only thing really that can help at that stage, not medication, not any of those other things, is dialysis. So something that takes over the function, the natural function of the kidneys. So dialysis or kidney transplantation. So let's move on. So these are the various stages. And I always say to my patients, when you have a blood test, whenever there's hardly a time when you have a blood test at your general practitioner in hospital when they don't check your kidney function. The kidneys are so important. If you're on any medication, it's really important to know what your kidney function is. If you've got diabetes, high blood pressure, or heart disease, it's really important to know what your kidney function is. Any rheumatological condition. So when you have your blood test, ask your doctor, am I at risk of chronic kidney disease, or what stage of chronic kidney disease am I? So stage 1 is when your kidneys are essentially normal, but we can detect some abnormalities on testing the urine, or maybe you have an ultrasound scan that detects a problem with the kidneys. But the actual blood test itself is normal. So that might be difficult to detect just from a blood test. Stage 2, so you can see, don't worry about this number, but you can see stage 1 is where the flow rate through the kidneys is over 90 mils per minute. Stage 2, it's 60 to 89. So you want to know, today, what was my kidney function last year when they checked it? Was it 90 or over 90? And has it come down to 80 or 70 or 60? So that stage 2 is quite wide. So even within stage 2, if there's a deterioration, you want to know about it. So don't be inquisitive. Have an interesting conversation with your GP. They say, well, it's normal. Ask, what is the figure? What is the figure? It's your right to know so that you can take measures and make a note of it so you can compare with when you do your next blood test. And then you've got stage 3, stage 4. And once your kidney function starts to get really, really low, so less than 15 mils per minute, that's when you've almost really completely lost your kidney function, and you're going to need replacement therapy with dialysis or transplantation. As I mentioned earlier, most of the time you don't get any symptoms at all. And when you do develop symptoms, it's often quite late. So the leg swelling, the severe lethargy. And often it's hard to tell whether your symptoms are because of chronic kidney disease unless a blood test is done. Now, so at kiCKeD, this is what we aim to do. We aim to, by doing programs like this, before the lockdown, we had our face-to-face program to, bring you quality information to improve your awareness of chronic kidney disease, kiCKeD. We really believe that by educating you about your chronic kidney disease risk factors, and the measures that you can put in place to reduce the deterioration, that can actually help protect your kidneys in the long run. We get the information out here, but we're like we're passionate about what's happening back home in Sierra Leone as well. And we started in 2018 by going and running satellite clinics. We were hoping to do that again towards the end of 2019, but of course, coronavirus hit. That is something that, fingers crossed, we may be able to do towards the end of 2021 or beginning of 2022. So we go and run these clinics offering, blood sugar tests, blood pressure, weight, and then risk stratifying patients in terms of their chronic kidney disease risk and giving them advice about what to do to prevent that. So that's a key thing, and we try as much as possible to work with liaise with key health stakeholders. So that whether that's the government, local hospitals in Sierra Leone. So we partnered with My Best in Their Hospital. We're hoping to do it in other places. In Lungay, in Bow, Freetown, and we're always looking for partners. So if you're out there and you have any connections to any of these hospitals in whichever region in Sierra Leone, get in touch with us and let us know so we can work something out and plan to do something in that locality. Okay, this is just another way of looking at the chronic kidney disease stages, stage 1 to 5, and then when it's beyond stage 5, you're needing dialysis or transplant. And we aim to get you, to stop things sliding further at that early stages. The early stages of kiCKeD 1, 2, 3. Because if you can pick it up then by a blood test and then start implementing those measures, low salt diet, exercising, if you're overweight, try to have a healthier weight. It's not about having the perfect weight, but it's having a healthier weight. Whatever your weight is, if you can lose 1%, 2%, 5% of whatever your weight is, it will be a lot more healthier than where we are now. Losing weight isn't easy. It's a struggle. It's a challenge. For some of us, biologically, it's so much harder, but it can be done. Aim to lose just a small percentage at a time. Don't make the target so huge that it even puts you off from studying. So just 1% of your total body weight will make a big difference. It will not only help your kidneys, it will help your blood pressure. It will help your diabetes as well. And we also know that obesity is a significant risk factor for all types of cancers. So it would also, it has lots and lots of benefits. So here we go. Looking after your kidneys and controlling your blood pressure. If you have diabetes, controlling your diabetes, taking your medication. And this is not a talk about diabetes, but diabetes is not just about how much sugar you add to your pap, how much sugar you add to your tea, or how sweet the banana bread or the akara is. It's about the carbohydrates, so the starchy carbohydrates, rice, pounded yam, fufu, cassava, potato. That is what produces a significant amount of sugar once it's been broken down, that makes diabetes difficult to control, or that leads us to developing diabetes at some point in time. So controlling the portion of those food is really important. I'll show you what a healthy plate looks like. Regular exercise. What is regular exercise? So aiming for something like 20 to 30 minutes a day. Or if you don't do it every day, just try and do roughly 150 minutes a week. But again, build it up. If you've never really done any exercise, just start with doing 5 minutes exercise a day, 10 minutes, and build it up. Make it easy for you to win. Okay, if you say, well, look, I'm just going to go and walk around the block, you might enjoy it so much that you walk around the block twice or 3 times. Okay, I'm going somewhere on a bus. I'm going to get off 1 stop early so I can walk the rest. Okay, you're driving to the supermarket. Park your car as far away as you can in the car park from the entrance so that you can walk to the entrance and you can carry your shopping back. From the supermarket to your car. So regular exercise is really important. Health eating. I mentioned a healthy plate of food, and I'll show you what that is in a second. Low salt diet. Again, I'll show you that in the context of jollof rice in a second. High cholesterol. Cholesterol is the fat in our blood. We all have cholesterol, but again, it's making sure it's not too high. So palm oil, lots of it, lots of palm oil, which we all love, in that sweet cassava leaves, potato leaves. But too much of it isn't so good for our cholesterol level. If you stop smoking. Smoking furs up, it blocks up your arteries. That's why smoking causes heart attacks, causes strokes. But if you have poor blood flowing to your kidneys, it will also contribute to the kidney damage. Now, a lot of us get aches and pains, and we get medication over the counter. You want to try and avoid taking things like ibuprofen, Nurofen, or diclofenac. These are called non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. You want to avoid taking these medications on a regular basis, on a long-term basis, because they can damage your kidneys. And let's talk about jollof rice. Now, I love eating jollof rice, but I'm not good at cooking it. Okay, but approximately, we're going to talk about how much salt goes into the average pot of jollof rice and stew. Okay, and this is the Sierra Leonean jollof rice, the best jollof rice in West Africa, the best jollof rice in the whole world. I know some of you watching the program right now are amazing cooks. Let's talk first of all. Well, what is the daily recommended salt intake? It's something. It's in the region of one. We're allowed 6 grams of salt a day. Now, we don't measure these things. Most of us don't have a scale at home. It's not practical. But I'll show you. So 6 grams of salt is equivalent to 1 jumbo cube Maggi. So the small Maggi, the really tiny one, that has about 2.5 grams of salt. So 1 jumbo cube Maggi is already has your daily salt requirements. We all know what happens. We put maybe 3 jumbo cube on the stew. We put some sweetie, the white Maggi that has a lot of salt as well. MSG, monosodium and monosulfate. We put all-purpose seasoning. It goes with everything. I love it myself. I'm guilty of it, but we need to cut those things down. And so in the average jollof rice, okay, this is a small pot, okay. On average, you might put 3 jumbo cubes and 50 grams of the white Maggi, the sweetie, as they call it. And you put 3 jumbo cubes in the actual jollof rice as well to give it that taste that we love. Okay, so remember, 1 jumbo cube has 6 grams of salt, and that's enough for our daily salt requirement. But in total, we're getting about 6 jumbo cubes. So we're already 6 times Yes, it's not one person that's going to have that meal, but there's a lot of salt in there. Plus, we add salt as well, the raw salt, yeah, and the sweetie, and all the seasoning and things like that. So there's a lot of salt that our average, and delicacies have in them. Without it, we say it's not too tasty. But there are things that you can do. There are other seasonings that you can use. I'm sure the people who are much better cooked than I am here will be able to testify. You can use non-salt seasonings. You can, by adding ginger, actually, it can enhance the spice and the taste of your other seasoning so that you're not having to put so much salt or Maggi. Yeah. So here we go. So this each one of these squares represents about 1 gram of salt. Okay. So one jumbo cube Maggi will have 6 of these approximately. So what you can see there is what you allowed for the day. An adult is allowed every single day. But with those 6 jumbo cube for the stew and the rice and the sweetie and everything else, this is how much salt we're actually consuming in those meals. Okay, just one cook. And some of us will also add salt on top extra after they finish preparing the meal. We add some more salt because we want to give it extra taste. It's not good for our kidneys. So out of all of those, there's about 55 grams of salt there. Our daily amount, we've exceeded it by almost 8 to 9 times. That is how much in circle, the 6 grams, that's how much we actually should be getting per day. Yeah. So it's a lot of salt. So what is a healthy plate of food? This is my last slide before I finish. A healthy plate of food, it states that, look, your plate, half of it should be vegetables, should be occupied by vegetables or salad. Okay, and then 1/4, so 25% of it should be the carbohydrate. So that's your starchy food, your rice or your fufu or pounded yam, cassava, etc. And then 1/4 should be protein. So protein, that's your fish, your meat. Those are all protein. And the best thing you can also do is actually have a glass of water before you start having your meal. Automatically you have something in there, because sometimes, we're so hungry that we think we can finish like a huge plate of food. So we start eat so quickly before we even drink any water. And by the time you realize we've consumed so much carbohydrates, which isn't good for our kidneys, not good for our blood sugar levels as well. So have a glass of water before you start eating. That's really, really good. And then when you're eating, slow down, like really slow down, chew the food. Don't just swallow. Honestly, this might sound really simple, but take your time to chew the food. And there's about between 15 minutes and half an hour is the time it takes for your stomach to send signal to your brain. As your stomach stretches, it sends signal to your brain to say, look, I've had enough, I'm getting full. So in that first 15 minutes, if you just go, you just eat so quickly, you can actually consume so much before you get the signal going to your brain. But if you have a glass of water, your stomach starts to stretch. Eat slowly, chew the food, take your time. By the time you finish maybe half of the plate, you're starting to feel full already because you're actually full. And that really, really helps to make a difference. So I hope that's been useful. And hopefully, we'll be able to go through some questions and answers shortly. And yeah, thank you so much. Let's see where my DJs are. DJ Ish, DJ Little. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Let's come out of there. I'm gonna give you if we have time later, I might show you a video about some of the work we do in Sierra Leone that we did in 2018. But let me give you the host again.
Well,
I'm very happy, by the way. I'm very happy to take questions from anyone on the chat. Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do, we'll obviously make a start first, and because I've got loads of questions to ask. But first of all, let's get the latecomer to say hello and welcome.
Right. Good evening, people. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you for watching this wonderful program, educative program. we're so happy, so pleased to have Dr. Ahmed again on this platform again. And I know it's hard time because by now we would have been, like in a hole where Dr. Ahmed will be showing us different kind of things that he is just showing us here on this platform. But hey, we're still thankful that social media have made it easier for us to do this thing. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. I will allow DJ Little to actually go on with the questions first while I look through the chat and see to prepare myself so that I can ask.
Thank you very much, Ish. There's quite a lot of questions on the chat. So I think if you just make note of those, I've seen Abubakar, Catherine, and quite a few contributors, Tebi. These are all people are making comments. So, but I just want to say, what a fantastic presentation, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you for that. Simply the best. What I want to say is, just like what you said, I'm guilty. You will see that the food don't cook, all too sweet. And like, it's like reverse psychologically, you're almost insulting the cook by taking that extra Maggi sauce. They go sprinkle and back on top of this. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're insulting the cook, but knowing that you're not only insulting the cook, you're also destroying yourself. First of all, the simple question I want to ask is, what is the psychology that we ended up taking that little bit of extra Maggi sauce, or open up one little sachet of salt and then sprinkle it on top of the, what is the psychology? Because I don't think it's the taste bud only. I think there is a psychological issue, because for me, I can go back to as far as my grandfather when I was young, a 5-6-year-old young boy, fortunate to see my granddad eating, has his Maggi sauce on his side, sprinkling it on top of the food. But even then, my grandparents were great cooks. What is the psychology? Why are we doing it?
It's a really good question. I mean, I think, I'm not a psychologist, but I love the psychology behind human behavior, because, with the right psychology, you can make huge changes. They say, look, let me put it this way. They say, look, if you want a child to do something, don't tell them to do it, but show them how to do it. So we get programmed from when we're young by things that we see. So we, our parents, elders. So like you mentioned, you see your grandparents, your parents, your elder sibling putting this sweet Maggi sauce. Oh, it's sweet. So, when you put this, it will taste extra nice. I used to do that as well. So you grew up just doing it because other people around you do it. And then they say it's really sweet. So you get used to the taste as well. But then when we're grown up, we tell our kids, why are you putting extra salt? But then you're doing it. So if we show them how to do it properly, we not just say it, but we act it. So you're cooking the rice. We don't need to put extra salt on the rice. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm just going to put one Maggi cube in this nice cassava mousse, and it tastes so good. It's really sweet. Extra Maggi sauce, you don't need that. It makes it taste, poorly. So if you start doing that and impregnating that into the young minds, it makes a big difference. So I think a lot of the habits that we pick up comes from what we're exposed to when we're young, and we think that's the right way of doing things. It becomes a habit. It becomes really, really difficult to stop doing it.
My final question, because I'm sure Ish has got questions and he's going to come into the comments. My final question is, at the start of the program, I think is on as a slide, you mentioned the kidney is one of the human organs that the average human person can function with just one of. What is the key? And I know, obviously, I don't know, what is the rationale behind, or how can a human being survive with just one kidney? Because we don't hear these stories them, or we heard about some of our relatives coming over to donate organs to another relative member, or in the past during the during the time of the war, there was a very, very high significant prevalence of stories that the Salon young man, them and young woman, they will be healthy when they capture, they were actually selling their organs just to come abroad as a way of escaping the war as well. How can the human body function with one kidney, and why?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Well, look, lots and lots of studies have been done, which, you can actually, there are specific scans that you can do that tells you what your function is, and it gives you the function in percentage. So you can have 2 kidneys, right? You can have two kidneys, but the total function might be 30% of what they ought to be. Or they can actually, detect that one of your kidneys is completely non-functioning. So you can have what we call a redundant kidney inside of you, either because of kidney stones or TB, tuberculosis of your kidneys, or lots of other conditions, or you had a kidney infection in the past. So we just know from studies that with just one kidney, you can function well. You do your kidney blood test and it's plumb normal. That's because the capacity of the kidney to do its job is huge. It's huge. So you have to lose so much function in order to actually be able to detect the reduction in function on blood tests. And that's why really positively, when someone does it with consent, when you're not forced to do it and you're not doing it because you really desperately need it to travel abroad, or someone is threatening you with your survival, when you're not forced to do it and you're doing it to help someone else, help a family member, or even a really, really good friend. Because the other thing is, not only can you survive with one kidney, but kidney transplantation doesn't require the stringent match in terms of antibody DNA matches that you need with other organ transplantation as well. So, you can survive with just one kidney and be perfectly healthy.
Okay, over to you, Ish. I think I'm done for now. Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed.
Thank you very much, DJ Little. Dr. Ahmed, I've got two-in-one question, right? According to the explanation you were giving about the kidneys and all that, about our healthy eating diets, how we need to manage our diet in cutting down the salts that we eat and all that. Okay, so let's go back to Sierra Leone, the provinces, like people who cannot actually afford a proper meal. All they rely on is just a plain rice, and when they cook the rice, they put salt and then add palm oil on top. So they call it lafidi, white lafidi and all that. So without nothing, that's all they can live on. How damaging is this to them? So palm oil and then more of carbohydrates.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's a double whammy. It's really difficult. I mean, there's lack of variety, there's lack of option. They have to make do with what they have to make do. But look, if the rice is there in abundance, you can still manage the portion. You can still, if you have to use palm oil, you can, again, it's all about relativity. You can, use a slightly reduced amount, rather than pouring it all over reduced amounts. You can incorporate more, having fish in the diet, more vegetables. So you have to be quite creative. I know, for example, my grandma would, when I was growing up back in Sierra Leone, would just go to the backyard, go to the bush, come with a few leaves and make something wonderful, right? And without even palm oil. So you can have like white plasas, all of this, that can make a difference. But yeah, I mean, when you're so limited, you're just, in fact, just leaving. We need carbohydrates, protein. We need fat as well. We need fat as well, to a certain amount. But if you're just on a carbohydrate diet, it's not healthy. Your risk of diabetes goes up. You become malnourished as well because you're not getting adequate protein in your body. It's a really difficult situation for some people. But where you can, you want to try and avoid a carbohydrate load as much as possible. And here in the UK, we can do it. We can do it. And that is a really key thing that we need to take away. We can reduce our carbohydrate portions. Have that glass of water beforehand, and don't look at the plates before you start and say, oh, I'm not going to be full up by the end of this. Just trust your gut, trust your gut instincts that you will be full up, even just having a quarter full plate with rice or fufu or whatever carbohydrate you choose to have.
Okay, so I got a quick question here, Ish, to Dr. Ahmed, and this is coming from Abubakar Bangura. It says, with most of the water in Sierra Leone not purified, would this be any chance be connected to the rising cases of organ failure? And that's one question. I'm going to ask another question, which Abubakar again asked the second question. So his first question was based on the unpurified water. which most people are consuming in Sierra Leone? Would it be connected to rising cases of organ failures? That's the first question. His second question was Helicobacter pylori is a very common infection in Sierra Leone today. When combined with typhoid, how deadly can this be to the body in human to the human body in general? Are you clear with those two questions?
Yeah, really, really good question, and thank you very much for asking. So, I mean, yeah, unpurified water is going to increase your risk of having infections, including cholera, right? And we all know what happens with cholera infection. You get really terrible diarrhea, you become severely dehydrated, and dehydration is one of the causes of kidney failure. Okay, people get cholera, they don't go and have blood tests. So they recover from it. You don't know. Have you gone from stage 2 to stage 3, or have you even gone from stage 1, completely healthy kidney, all the way down to stage 4? People don't know because they're not monitored. And then something else happened whilst they're apparently relatively healthy and they die. So we never really know what happens to those patients because they're not tested. But yes, unpurified water leads to infection, and if you get infection of the kidneys, that can lead to kidney failure. If you get sort of dysentery from unpurified water or cholera, you can get kidney failure as well. So good question, and certainly will contribute. It won't be the whole factor, but it will contribute. H. pylori and typhoid. Well, look, Helicobacter pylori is a bacteria that's known to cause stomach ulcers and duodenal ulcers. And look, as far as I'm aware, in the literature, for example, it has no correlation with significant kidney failure, but there may be something out there that I'm not aware of. But its main cause, it's a intractable stomach ulceration, and it needs treatment with a combination of at least 2 different antibiotic and high-dose anti-acid medications in order to get rid of it. But first, you've got to diagnose it. In Sierra Leone, it's very difficult to make the diagnosis, again, the test. So sometimes patients just have to be treated empirically if you suspect it. If you have an ulcer that's not treated, that could get worse slowly. It can reduce your desire to want to eat, which can lead to weight loss, and sometimes, even stops you wanting to drink plenty, and that can lead to dehydration. But if ultimately it's not treated, it can lead to stomach or duodenal, so that's your small intestine perforation, where the belly go burst or duodenum go burst, and that can lead to severe, infection that can potentially lead to death. So, if you do get to that stage, then of course it's going to cause, organ failure. But directly, just having Helicobacter, I'm not aware of an association with kidney disease as such.
Thank you very much. DJ Ish?
Yeah, thank you, DJ Little. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for that. I've got a personal question here, Ahmed. There's a gentleman who asked, he actually don't drink water at all. He don't drink water, but he smokes, drink. He don't drink no water. All he drink is just fizzy drink, alcohol, and energy drinks. No water at all.
Yeah.
How damaging can this be to his kidney?
Well, look, I want to say, look, well done for just being brave and bringing this up. Maybe today might be a turning point, right? Today might be a turning point. So, look, let me break it down this way. Forget your kidneys. So our brain, for example, our brain is made up of 80% water. Yeah, this brain that we have, that's so important. So you can see how important it is to be adequately hydrated. So the first thing I'd recommend, and I do this every single morning, is I have a glass of water next to me in my room or by the window. I have a glass of water first thing in the morning, because overnight you're not drinking, the heater comes on, you get dehydrated, and it affects your brain function. Now, if you're not getting adequate hydration with water, it has impact on your kidneys. If your kidneys start to fail, it has impact on your blood pressure control, and then you get this vicious cycle: hypertension, kidney failure making the hypertension worse. Now, fizzy drinks have a lot of sugar in them, a lot of additive that's not good for you. It would increase your risk of developing diabetes. And if you've got diabetes already, a lot of people have diabetes, by the way, and don't have symptoms because it's not severe diabetes, right? And so it would increase your risk of presenting to hospital with complicated diabetes, so which we call this DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis. And in King's College, the hospital in Southeast London, a lot of African patients, the first time that they know that they have diabetes is when they present to A&E, accident and emergency, with diabetic ketoacidosis. They've done studies on this. You present and your blood sugar is so high, sometimes it's you can't even measure it. You have a lot of acid in your blood. You've damaged your kidneys, right? You're going into coma, so you're becoming unconscious. And these patients, it's not a quick turnaround, we'll give you tablets and control. No, they have to go to high dependence unit, intensive care unit, to have their blood sugar controlled with really complicated regimen of something called insulin, fluid, etc. So the ramifications, the repercussions of the fizzy drinks all the time, high sugar content, not drinking water, it can be quite deadly. And I would recommend, if you're still there listening, make an arrangement. Go and have a routine blood test with your GP, and start changing it. Start incorporating more water into your fluid intake instead of the fizzy drink and the energy drinks.
And then the cigarettes and the alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I speak to my patients, I don't like to be a patient basher. What I mean is, someone comes and you see all of these things and you go, goodness, you smoke, you drink, you don't drink enough water, you're overweight, etc., etc. It can be just so demoralizing. But sometimes the only way to put it is to be frank and say, look, none of us know what's going to happen to us. Okay, no doctor is God. None of us know when we're going to die. Let me put it bluntly. But what we do know is, by and large, people who smoke tend to have more heart attacks, tend to have more strokes, tend to have more kidney disease, tend to have more cancer, tend to die early. Yeah, so that is the statistics. It doesn't mean that everyone who smokes gets them, but statistically, your chances of getting all of those things are much higher. So I would definitely encourage you to start thinking about cutting it down, reducing how much cigarette you take, and eventually working towards stopping it. Same with alcohol. It's recommended that if you do drink, you should not drink more than 14 units of alcohol per week. What's 14 units? So your can of Stella or any sort of beer will have at least 2 to 3 units in there. So it doesn't take much. Some people will have 14 units in one go every day, and they have that, every single night. So they're going over the weekly recommended amount just on one day. And binge drinking is when you have more than 8 units of alcohol in one go. Binge drinking is now being seen as one of the highest causes of liver failure, to the point where you need liver transplantation. And guess what? If your liver failure is caused by alcohol, they're not going to put you for transplant until you stop drinking the alcohol. So all of these things interact. So look, well done for mentioning it. You're not going to stop it all at once because it's hard to change habits, yeah. But you can start working on it slowly.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you. DJ Little, I don't know whether you want Ahmed to showcase a little bit of their work.
Well, no. So we're going to move into the next segment now. You're right. And so, Dr. Ahmed, the next segment we're going to start this time look at kiCKeD and the impact on COVID and the impact on COVID on kiCKeD, and as well as how the whole of chronic kidney disease has impacted on patients as well, especially within the BAME community in relation to COVID as well. So let's go into that segment. So first of all, let's discuss the impact on COVID on kiCKeD, because you mentioned it earlier, work which you did in 2018, and then towards 2019, again, you could not do as much as, and then come COVID at the start of 2020, and this has made a significant impact because a lot of us started looking forward to you guys. I think last year you were in 2019 you were one of the first sort of like health organizations to actually bring people together in a hall and not having that sitting down round table, some sort of like a lunch on sale kind of thing. And then the focus was on education so that people could go away, and which worked because everybody came out there talking about, oh, we like how Ahmed and Fatih do that day, because it was the first time, because then you only see that in sort of like lunch on sales in schools events, and you guys employ that idea and then it worked. And we've seen other health organizations have adopted it going forward. So what is the impact of COVID being on kiCKeD, and how has that actually challenged your work, yourself and Fatih, in terms of what you wanted to achieve? And you talked about the work which you've done in Sierra Leone. So if I could just allow you to be brief on that.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for raising that. I mean, COVID has had a devastating impact on all of us in so many ways. And from the kiCKeD's point of view, we've not been able to have our usual functions. We like to bring experts to our members, our community. Because look, Fatih knows so much about kidneys. I know quite a bit as well. And we can sit there and tell you all of these things. But sometimes you get bored of hearing our voices. And it's nice to hear it from someone else who's an expert in a particular area. So we had someone who came in, a senior kidney dietitian. We had a professor of kidney disease from King's College. We've had a consultant urologist who spoke to us about prostate cancer, something that's also quite common in us. It's been really, really difficult for us to be honest, to not be able to do that. And then, of course, traveling, going to Sierra Leone and doing this similar event to what we did in 2018, that was impossible with all the social distancing restrictions, etc. So it's impacted us a lot. But I'm sure, in a similar way, it's impacted a lot of Sierra Leonean diaspora organizations, not being able to put their events together in the way that they would like. So, I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be able to use a platform like this to give some good information out there. You see, you can never get tired of hearing these things. So I read about these things all the time because, you know what? After a period of time, the knowledge goes down. You need to reboost it. Yeah. So imagine, I read about it all the time. Some people just come across it once, maybe once a year when we do our events. After a few weeks, it goes out of the window, you go back to your normal habits. So the repetition, the cycle helps. It's been really difficult. I can't wait to be able to do it again. We're hoping to do an event if the whole thing can settle down.
Okay, so over to you, Ish. Do you have any follow-on question?
Yeah, so Dr. Ahmed, okay, since we're looking at, hopefully by God's grace, we're looking at June, wherein few restrictions will be taken off and all that, try to go back to normality. So are we expecting anything like towards the end of the year? Because people are looking forward to this event.
Yeah, look, we're sort of, what we do is dictated by Public Health England, Boris Johnson and his team, just like what everyone else does. But our aim is really to be able to do something at the end of the year, whether it's here or Sierra Leone, all right? If we can do something, because there's just so much information we need to get out there to people, so people get this thing to look after your kidneys well and live a better health. But we're hopeful that towards the end of the year, we may well be we've got something planned. If the conditions permit us, we'll go ahead with it. Whether it's here or Sierra Leone, it'll be one of the two. But we're hoping to do something towards the end of the year.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds very interesting. Well, did you have anything else to say, Ish, or any question?
No, for now, no.
Okay. So, Dr. Ahmed, we've seen the coronavirus and how it's affected, and the data shows that at least over 60% to 65% of Black, Asian, and minority ethnics have been affected by the whole coronavirus. And this is because of so many other factors which have been outlined, but health inequalities and social inequalities, and you can name it. But basically, what I wanted to focus on, not so much of the inequalities, I want to focus on the role of the kidney and that of the Black, Asian, and minority ethnic. And you touched on our diets, which played significant role in our lifestyle pre-COVID. And even whilst we're living in COVID, people are still eating heavily starchy foods and high carbohydrates and so on. And we still have very little exercise regime. And we're born in Africa. A lot of us were born in Africa where we have yards, playgrounds, where we were running around and all of that stuff. And suddenly we come to England where we live in decks and decks of flats living on top of each other, but yet still we're exposed to so much fields. Okay, some people don't have the opportunities for that many fields, but we stop doing all of those run around because we want the fancy cars. We want to be blown over by our AC in our car and all of that. You want to jump in to drive to East Street Market or the nearest local shop, which is about 2.3 minutes drive. You still want to drive there, which would equivalent to less than 10 minutes walk. All of that, and then COVID came in and exposed all of this, and we saw our community became a victim. There's a high number of Selenium people who tragically lost their lives to coronavirus. We may not know exactly what are the real causes of that, but just looking at how it's affected our kidney in terms of coronavirus, we see where we understand that patients would have collapsed organs, long-term failure. The kidney is going to be one of those which might be affected. Basically, I'm trying to elude you into a conversation rather than a question. How can you elaborate on what I'm just giving up an average man's summary. What can you say from a clinical diagnosis, how COVID has affected patients, especially for those of us who are in the BEM community?
Big time. It's a really, really valid point. You know, they say in Africa, we pay to ride a vehicle, right? Whereas here it's the opposite. We pay to walk, to run. You pay gym membership because naturally people do a lot of that walking. They get a lot of that exercise. There are a lot of other health inequalities in Africa, but when it comes to getting that basic exercise, people get it just because of the way situation is there. Here it's the opposite. So yeah, we all come here, we live a more sedentary lifestyle on buses, in cars, at home, not doing much exercise. We put on weight. When I came to England the first time, long time ago, I thought I was hench, but I was really, really skinny, man. I mean, after a little while, I started putting on so much weight just because of the lifestyle. So it's a huge challenge. Look, when you have severe infection that needs intensive care admission, you're already so sick. You're one of the 5-10% sickest patients in hospital, right? And yeah, when you need intensive care admission, it's really, really severe. So if you get to that stage and you're not as healthy as you can be beforehand, then you're almost kind of like fighting a losing battle already. So if your kidney function isn't great, if you're overweight, if you have poorly controlled blood pressure, so it's not just having blood pressure, but it's not having it controlled when you turn up. And the studies have shown that also that patients on the day of admission to hospital who have a really high blood sugar, they might never have been diagnosed with diabetes, but if on that day they have a really high blood sugar, their chances of doing well is significantly reduced just because they had a high blood sugar that day. So imagine if you have diabetes that's not well controlled. So you have all of these risk factors that make it, even before they give you a chance on intensive care, it's a huge, huge battle. Let me show you something here quickly. I'm not going to spend too long on this, but this is just, you can probably see my screen, right?
Yeah.
This is a recent article published in January 2021. So yeah, it's from the Nephrology Dialysis Transplantation article. You can just look at the headline. Chronic kidney disease is a key risk factor for severe COVID-19. Right, it's a key risk factor for severe COVID-19. It's not it doesn't increase your risk of getting it, but if you get it, your chance of then getting severe COVID-19, so that is being hospitalized, needing oxygen, needing high dependency unit, and needing intensive care unit.
Dr.
And intensive care.
I don't go. I'm quite keen. My eyes just caught up on the abstract there, where this is something that you mentioned earlier, and it says that diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease have been listed as risk factors, severe coronavirus disease in 2019, since the first report of the disease in January 2020. Now, the interesting thing is, even before you've now just recently shared the screen, earlier on, you said something to do with where, as Black, Asian, minority ethnic, especially as Sierra Leoneans, we're presenting so late of diabetes to the emergency department that it's too late. And so the only thing that can be done is damage limitation, so to speak. Now, with this report that you've just, this data, this statement that you've shown there is just a validation to what you have just mentioned earlier, because then it goes to the scary part to say, how many of us, Black, Asian, and minority ethnic, and as Sierra Leoneans, that are actually living and working with diabetes? So we're like a walking time bomb, and not knowing that we're a walking time bomb. What can be done to ensure that we are on top of our lifestyle? And I know Ish is a health and fitness guru and all of that stuff, and you will talk about that later. But I just want to understand what can be done. And we've talked about the dieting, we talked about watching our food intakes and all of that stuff. But look, I'm going to share something with you, which everybody that follows Diaspora Voices would have known. And you probably at some point in time, you would have had that story. In 2016, I was diagnosed at my borderline HbA1c. My HbA1c was borderline. And I paid no attention to it. In 2018, and then I presented again, and then it had gone a little bit higher. And the doctor said, look, you came here 2016, and this is exactly what I said to you to do. You started, and then you lapsed. You did nothing about it. So in 2018, I didn't, and then it came back. But that was not it. A year after 2018, 2019, okay, I went to hospital, which I was hospitalized for 4 days in August for exhaustion and everything. But when they looked at it, my HbA1c was still high. You understand? But physically, I'm not the biggest guy. But my diet was poor because I live highly on carbs, because I don't eat fruits, and my vegetable is virtually what you call, say, less than 5%. That was pre 2019. It's changed dramatically since, I have to be honest. You understand? Since taking up on the running and all of that stuff, the diet also changed. But there are a lot of people like myself, small physically, because we only associate bigger people to unhealthy lifestyle. So if where you fat, now you unhealthy, or where you get big body, now you unhealthy. So there's a lot of small people with smaller stature which have blocked arteries, which are ticking time bomb for strokes, hypertension, and so on. What can be said about this?
I mean, you touched on really, really important points there. And, you know, let's touch on the last one. So we associate being healthy with, you know, having a slim stature, right? You see a lot of South Asian people who are slim have diabetes. Why is this? Lots of studies have shown that it's to do with where the fat is distributed. Yeah. So you can be slim, but if you have a lot of the fat distributed around your midriff, your tummy, around your liver in particular, your pancreas, those organs, not necessarily showing elsewhere, then your chances of having diabetes or polycontrolled diabetes, if you do have it, is really, really, really high. And the only way you can improve that is by, you know, sort of regular exercise. So you're not exercising to lose weight necessarily, but you're exercising to burn that fat that's in the wrong place. So we also associate back, culturally, where you belly come out, this man, I don't make it. The fat is in the wrong place, and I make the belly come out. The fat's then at the wrong place. So when you have that sort of fat distribution, your risk of diabetes is significantly raised. I mean, it's a change in psychology. Sometimes we know what to do. Like you said, you spoke to your doctor, you made changes, but it's how do you maintain it? How do you maintain it? And sometimes I have conversations with my patients. It's not to do with what you need to do medically to improve yourself, but it's the psychology. I say, how do you make this change? How do you make this change no matter what? So what changed? How do you make it that every day doing 20 minutes of exercise, I call it a non-negotiable activity, no negotiation, right? How do you make it a non-negotiable activity to have just a quarter of your plate with carbohydrate? So you've got to ask yourself, it's the why. It's not what you do, because we all know what to do. So, people know that I need to lose weight, don't eat much salt, but it's the why. What is your reason, right? What is your motivation?
By the way,
do you have children?
By the way, the screen is still shared. Is that okay?
Yeah, let me come out of this. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, what is the why? Is it you have children and sometimes you think, well, do I want to be there when my son or my daughter graduates, right? Do I want to be walking my daughter down the aisle? Do I want to be the man handing her over to their future husband? Do I want my life expectancy? Do I not give myself the best chance of living to 80 years old, 90 years old? So you got to look at the why, and I say, look, write it down. Why is this important to you? Not just because the doctor is saying it, or because you've done a test that shows it's not there. Why is it important to you? And you look at it every single day. I want to maintain a healthier weight. So I say healthier weight because for some of us, when you look at the BMI, what's normal BMI? And they say, well, to go to normal BMI, you have to lose 30 kilograms. It's like, what's the point in even trying? Because you lose psychologically. But healthier weight, people with diabetes, if they lose 5% of their body weight, a lot of them can reverse diabetes. They can come off medications. Like borderline diabetes, so pre-diabetes, if you lose 5% of your body weight, you can take your HbA1c back to normal and maintain it there. Now, look, some of us might eventually, with time, we will develop these things, but you want to postpone it and keep it at bay for as long as possible. And it's all down to the why. I think it's all down to the why. It's all down to the why. They say we make good habits first, and then our habits make us. So have that habit, 20 minutes, come on, listen, at the end of the month, that's Power Voices and the exercise program that they do. Work out. If you don't catch it at the time, it's there, it's recorded, you can look at it, right? I do it, I have my exercise regime, but sometimes it's nice to just look at you guys doing what you're doing and trying to copy you. It makes it more fun. I don't always keep up.
Yeah, well,
but
he's
definitely I do my best.
You've got the guru there on the screen, and we're looking forward to the one coming up on the 27th of March this month, which is going to be the end of the month workout. And we're encouraging the community to do it, and we're going to, even when the restrictions are eased, we're going to carry on with it, and because we feel that we should not be in a haste. And we've also got you on the 5th of April. So there's a lot of health information that are going to be coming from our platform and other platforms as well. There are so many other people, health experts that are using social media to educate and empower people. And so we are actually trying to reach out to our community and sensitize them. And as you said, we're hoping that they will take it on board and then follow it. You don't have to do it publicly, but if the advice resonates with you and you want to do it privately in your house, in your living room, in your bedroom, or if you got a front or back garden, you want to utilize it, then do it. If you have the confidence to come out and join us on a Saturday morning, then come along. It's all good still. Do you understand? So over to you, Ish.
All right, thank you, DJ Little, thank you. Dr. Ahmed, I've got two victims on this program, and you just touched base on what's happened to you 2018, 2019, and all that. Ahmed, you as a GP, right? I just want to ask this question because I just want to find out from you, what important role does your GP play on the lives of patients, wherein the patients always like go to you and then complain about certain things, but all you do as a GP, it's not, you don't really try to find out the main cause of the illness of the patient. So all you do is just like, oh, this is just a normal pain, this is just this, go and take paracetamol and all that. For years, as a GP, as you train and qualified GP now, yeah? So what would you do if you are in that position? This patient is coming to you all the time, reporting about one thing all the time for the past 4 years, persistently is having this pain. As a GP, what would you do, sir?
Yeah, it's a really, really good point. I mean, I think you touched on something really important there. You see, we have 10 minutes. But I say to my patients, don't watch the clock. Don't watch the time. You know, when you're in surgery with me, I give you 100% of what you deserve to be given at that moment in time. We might, you know, I mean, I have other patients to look at. It's not fair on other patients. But I say that specifically so that you feel comfortable, because when you feel comfortable with your doctor, you can really start to open up. There are lots of reasons why someone might be coming to you repeatedly over and over and over. You know, and I think when someone keeps coming with the same symptoms, you know, I love examining my patients, meaning, you know, if you're saying, oh, my stomach hurts, I don't just want to tell you what's going on sitting a distance away. I want to feel your stomach. What is it? What's going on there? And if it's necessary, we do some tests, we do some investigations, and try and reassure you, you know, or find out what is going on so we can take steps, take measures. But then you also get to a situation sometimes where you've done a lot of tests and the symptom isn't going, you know, the patient still has the symptoms. There are lots of reasons why that can be. Sometimes it's because the test is only as good as the test. What do I mean by that? You know, an ultrasound scan, for example, is only as good as the person holding the probe.
Yeah.
Right? You can miss something, yeah, in the wrong hands. So, you know, when it's indicated, I will request a test. Or when it's indicated, I'll refer you to someone so you can get a more detailed CT scan done. Because that doesn't often miss things. You know, it's not something that it has risk. You don't want to be doing that all the time. Sometimes it's psychological. Yeah, it's psychological. I don't jump to that conclusion. I think it's really important to rule out what we call organic causes. So is there something really going on pathologically? Let's look for that first. You know, sometimes it's reassuring the person. Sometimes, I'll tell you, there's lots of reasons. Some patients come and see you quite often because of something going on at home, right? And if you don't give them the ear, if you're not empathetic, you're not sympathetic, they don't tell you what the true problem is that's going on at home. Cases of domestic violence, for example. Like, you know, and domestic violence, I've seen domestic violence where, okay, a lot of the time the woman is the victim, but I've seen a lot, you know, cases where the man is the victim. And this is a male-female relationship, not male-male relationship, male-female relationship, where the man is the victim. I've seen that as well. But, you know, people, they need to feel confident to be able to reveal that sort of thing to you. So there are lots of reasons. I mean, I think where you feel you're not being listened to, let me tell you what you can do. If you feel you're going to see the same GP, you feel you're not being listened to, right? Try maybe booking an appointment with a different GP in the surgery if it's available. All right. Sometimes even try seeing one of the senior nurses, just so you get a different perspective. You know, sometimes, you know, when when I feel like I'm not making progress, I'm not satisfying a patient in the way that I should, we've done tests, etc. I sometimes offer them, would you like to see one of my other colleagues? Just fresh pair of eyes. It doesn't mean anything. You know, someone will look at it from a different perspective and pick something else up. But what's really important, you have to be persistent. Yeah. If you don't feel well, something is really going on, it's niggling you. You know, we've reassured you, but you're still not feeling well, take it further. Sometimes if it gets to a point where you've been around the block with your GP lots of times, it's within your right to ask for specialist referral. But I can't refer you because I haven't found anything wrong, but I'm worried that I might have something really serious. Can you please refer me to whichever specialist? It's within your right to ask for that.
So Ahmed, you just mentioned something there that if you visit your GP several times and you complain about symptoms and then nothing is done, so all you do, you need to see another GP in the same surgery. So what about in the case wherein you go and see a different GP, but it's the same treatment, as in sending you for blood tests, tell you, because our body, the way we look, can be deceived as well, wherein because of the things we do, so certain disease, certain illnesses, they don't bring them close to us. They think, oh, it's not possible because of your posture, the way you look and all that, your body structure. And if you go to this other GP, it's the same thing. They keep sending you for blood tests and then painkiller. Same thing for 4 years. So just like you said, you need now to ask for a referral. Specialist.
Yeah.
Right? So if you suffer this for 4 years, 4 to 5 years, and then you think nothing is done, in your mind, you think the GP is giving you the right advice, but you're still having the same pain, symptoms. How does that work for GPs?
Yeah, it's really difficult. Look, sometimes, you know, you've had lots of tests, lots of investigations. Sometimes even you go and see a specialist, they do CT scans, lots of further tests, and they don't find something wrong, okay? That can be quite difficult for patients when you're still experiencing your symptoms. So there are some symptoms, you know, it depends on the individual case, but there's not everything is because of a detectable pathological problem. And sometimes, you know, I say to patients, be frank with your doctor. What is it that you're worried about? What is it? What do you think is going on? What test do you think your GP hasn't done? Sometimes we go to our doctors and you're hoping for the doctor to tell you, you're worried, but you don't want to be told bad news. So as a result, you're not really coming out with what you think is going on. Yeah. So be frank, be honest. Look, I'm really worried about X, Y, Z. It might just make your GP think, your doctor think about something that they maybe have not thought about. Yeah. Just say it. So one, they can either reassure you, because unless you're reassured, that reassurance or doing the test to reassure you is therapeutic in itself, more than the painkiller, more than the blood test sometimes. But if you don't say, you can't get the reassurance that you need in order to move on. Sometimes you get the correct reassurance, all of a sudden the pain disappears. You know, but yeah, you have to keep going, persevere.
Because the reason why I asked this question, I was a victim of this, wherein for 4 years I was complaining about one single problem, and then nothing was done until one day it's like a time bomb. I was at working cup, time bomb. And then one day I was at work having the same symptoms, and then I go and see another different GP at my place of work. They told me the same thing my personal GP told me, like, don't worry, it's just normal pain, wherein I insist that, no, this pain is different, you know? And I ask, to show me where the nearest hospital is, wherein I had to go in, check myself into A&E, somewhere different. And when I got there, after taking, after they done the ECG and everything, and then they asked me, how did I get to the hospital? So I told them I took a public transport. so the woman was like, no, you're lying. I said, no. I said, I took a public transport. He said, you had 5 minutes. Because what happened was my arteries was blocked for the past 4 years. I was just walking, going up and down. This was the problem. And I keep going to my GP persistently. It's just painkillers and all that. My arteries was blocked. I didn't even know, no knowledge of that. So when I came back, after I was discharged from the hospital, I came back, went to work. Our company GP now had to apologize to me that I am sorry. So this is why I was asking all these questions.
Yeah, yeah. But persistence, well done for persevering, right? You could have just listened and gone home. Maybe you may not have made it home.
Oh yeah, oh no, definitely, definitely. Because when I got there, then I was like, how did you get here? I was like, oh, I jump on the bus. Like, it's just 15 minutes. He goes, you're a very lucky guy. Very, very lucky guy. So sometimes these things happen. But it's good to have you on this program, Dr. Ahmed. Honestly, the information you're giving us in terms of like looking after our health, looking after our kidneys is very important, because as we Africans, our food, our diet is the problem. And then we don't take exercise serious, because people might be thinking, when I walk 10 minutes to catch the bus, yes, it's exercise. No, it's different. Because you can attest to that. You do it at your surgery. You can tell total is different. And from the time you started to now, you can actually see the difference. It's like it become a drug to you now. If you don't do something is missing. So right. I'll stop here for now. I think maybe DJ Little have got something he wants to say.
Interesting conversation. Interesting. Well, I'm glad you're still alive. At least I've got
and you too.
At least I've got a younger brother to be insulting at all times. You know what I mean? What would I have done? You know what I mean? Just to go to work, go to your grave and go cussing your grave. No, that's not, I'd rather be cussing in your face. Anyway, Dr. Ahmed, listen, let's move on to the next segment now, where I want us to talk about the future of kiCKeD. And I know there's quite a bit. So if you could be brief, because I've got some things which I want to catch up with you. Because a little birdie told me that you've been very busy behind the scene. Your first personal project, like your first book, is
no, you can't say that.
Yeah,
you cannot reveal that.
Well, no, I'm just saying. A little birdie said to me, I'm just asking because I'm not asking. Are you Dr. Ahmed? Who said you become that Ahmed lawyer?
I'm just going by what was sent to my phone.
Oh no, okay. You just sit down, relax. You know what I mean? Anyway, well, first of all, let's talk about the future of kiCKeD, Dr. Ahmed. And this is the reason why there's a lot of WhatsApp going on. You know, say Ishmaeli and Little there. People are affected about our infectious relationship that we got. They've never seen this kind of bonding within the Sahelian community. Like, these guys are not genuine, they're not pure. Well, people now, the answer is now when we miss. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, what is the future of kids at kiCKeD? And in terms of your work that you're going to continue to do in Sierra Leone, as well as sustaining kiCKeD itself, what kind of resources and support would you be looking for from the Sierra Leone community at large, whether in Europe, in Africa, or any part of the diaspora, basically?
Yeah, I mean, look, we have big plans. You know, this is part of our work. So when, people coming on, for me, it gives me great pleasure when people come on and ask questions, and you only need to take one thing away from here today and then introduce it as a lifestyle change. It's difficult to change too many things at once. Yeah, so change one thing. It maybe it's the salt thing that that you're gonna go and reduce in your diet. Maybe it's drinking water, a glass of water before your meal. Maybe it's, you know, not even 20, half an hour, minutes of exercise a day. Just start with 5 minutes walk around the block, 10 minutes, build it slowly, make it easy for you. And then as you said, DJ, it becomes a habit and you get so used to it, it becomes non-negotiable. You have to do it every single day. You know, make it a routine. Do it slowly, make it easy for yourself to win. What do I mean by that? So don't set yourself such big goals that you can't get started. Make it easy for yourself to win. You know, okay, the GP says you need to lose 20 kilograms. No, you set yourself your target. I'm going to aim for maybe 2 kilograms over the next 2 months, 5. For all you know is that's your aim. It gets you moving. Well, by the time you realize you've lost 5, you've lost 10 kilograms. So we have big plans. You know, getting this information out is, for me, it's really, really important. Taking this information back to our people back home and helping them with the test. You know, they don't have the free NHS service that we have here. But it's the test, you know, so we can really impact lives over there. We're working on being able to take medication as well. One of the things that really, really hurt us last time was seeing someone with a really high blood pressure, really high blood sugar, and not being able to do anything about it. It's not easy. There are so many rules around medications and getting hold of them in this country and taking them back home. But we're looking for ways. We're looking for ways of doing that. And we'll be reaching out to people personally as well. Probably not really ideal to mention it on the platform. Yeah, I mean, you know, going to Sierra Leone and going with the equipment and, you know, those things obviously need funds. And if anyone, you know, if anyone really feels that what we're doing is worthwhile, that it's going to make a difference to people's lives, and you feel sympathetic with our cause and want to support us financially, get in touch with myself, Fatty, or send a message to DJ Ish. DJ Little will send you the kiCKeD bank account details. It's not going in my personal account; it goes into kiCKeD. A big shout out, you know, I must say to all our supporters, people who supported us in terms of logistics and supported us in terms of finances in the past to be able to do what we've done. You know, I think one of them was might still be on the Facebook Live, Farella. You know, big supporter of us. Thank you so much. But thank you to everyone. I think this, you know, have us here next year as well, Diaspora Voices, because, you know, we need people like yourselves to be able to get our messages out there. Yeah, so you know, we just want that support from the public, you know, support from the public. Give us the fuel. That's what we need. We need the fuel to keep going.
Farella has been pledging promises, and she said, Dr. Ahmed, I promise. She's raised one hand up and she's done a courtesy as well. I think Megan should have come to her so that she could have taught Megan how to courtesy before meeting Granny-in-law. But anyway, next time, Megan, never mind. So Dr. Ahmed, I promise to start my work tomorrow after school run. I need to lose weight and stay healthy. I wasn't your time to leave. He said, oh, I need to kickstart my exercise routine at 50. So Farella has definitely pledged and committed. And then he don't do a courtesy. So at least by the time when the Queen meet him, they go say, well, you've been courtesy. You not like the other picking, you not get training. Now the other side of the wall, now they come out. Now, well, anyway, listen, it's been amazing. Let's talk about from Tengbetong to Cambridge. I like that. I saw like a snippet just fly through my face.
DJ Little, you don't have to touch that topic.
Dr. Ahmed, can you tell DJ Ish not to speak, please? DJ Ish, can you not speak? Please. Dr. Ahmed, I mean, I like the juice. I want to be the first person to get an exclusive. Can you talk to me about from Tengbetong to Cambridge, please? Don't worry, I've got enough check to pay your lawyer. I've got bottomless check.
I don't know how you get this information, but yeah, look.
I am a fly on the wall. I'm a fly on the wall.
Yeah. So yeah, it's it's a book that I've been writing, so I've been keeping myself busy during the lockdown, writing a book, just chatting my personal journey, you know, through school in Sierra Leone here and then going on to Cambridge. But it's more about the journey and the ups and downs and the valleys, you know, and being vulnerable, because, you know, when you write a book, I think you're really putting everything out there. You're sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly, so to speak, things that you've been through. But I think that's really, really important, because, you know, people need to be able to find something to relate with, you know, not just coming out and saying, oh, study hard or do this, listen to your parent, you know, or, you know, have a goal. But it's saying that, look, you went through difficulties, you know, similar to what a lot of us went through when we came here, living in overcrowded environment. You know, at one point, you read it in the book, I won't give too much away, you know, but, you know, a whole family living in a bedsit accommodation, being a struggle to even graduate, you know, at one point not being able to graduate because of finances. You know, yeah, what it takes, teachers doubting you, you know, teachers doubting you and having the courage, the belief to go ahead. So that's what's in there. It's something that if I was going through school now, secondary school, I'd have loved to have had something like that on my shelf to read through, to really inspire me, to motivate me, to keep working hard. And I think it's about academia, but it's got something in there for everyone to inspire you to achieve whatever it is that you want. The title is Success Against All Odds. Yeah, from Tengbe Town to Cambridge.
So, Dr. Ahmed, will this book, when you finish this book, when it's ready, will this book be available for sale?
Yes, it will be. Where the book is finished. The book is finished. It's been
I have to be careful when I'm asking my question. I don't want to be like this really too.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Look, let me give you I'll give you a sneak preview of the cover. Yeah, there's a book. Yeah, okay. Success Against All Odds. Yeah, Tengbe Town to Cambridge. Yeah, so yeah, it's all written, done and dusted. It's got an ISBN number. It's going to be up on Amazon. We'll get it into Waterstones as well. We're going through those process, and yeah, once it's ready, I'll share it.
Well done, proud of you. Yeah. So I think that's something. As you said, you know, there are one of many books that everybody's talking about having on your shelf. The Barack Obama story, the Nelson Mandela journey, Road to Freedom. This Success Against All Odds will definitely should be amongst those. And I say this with the greatest humility and respect to you yourself. And I would not only want to read this myself, I would want my children to be able to not look at this as a picture book, but to read it as well, because you know, we need to have more stories like this being shared to inspire not just us. I'm sure you're not doing it just for the people that are of the same age as you, but you want to inspire your children. You're a father of 3. You want to be able to ensure that they are able to read your stories and learn from your stories, because their journey might be similar, even though at different time lengths, because they may end up going through the struggles. We've seen how the world is evolving with such a rapid speed. And I always say, like you, I'm a father of 3 as well, and Ish is a father to 3 as well. So we have very similar stories. We want to be ensuring that the foundation is laid so that our children does not look at this, say, because you're born in the UK, there are equal opportunities. The opportunities are not equal. There is, I always like to use the word potentially equal, but that you need to remove the word potential to ensure that you have equal opportunities as those of your Caucasians and even sometimes your Asian counterparts who you may have. So it'll be fascinating when eventually we're ready for a full interview for Success Against All Odds. We will be structuring that and we will be speaking to you about it, because there's a million and one question I want to ask you. What was it like when you reached Cambridge? Now, did you be asleep, first of all, or how many years did they call you Kunta Kente before they got to understand your name Ahmed? Or how many people deliberately called your name wrong? So there are so many. I'm excited.
Little, so, that's an exclusive. You cannot give that out.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I said I want to.
You're getting too excited.
I listen. It doesn't take much to get me excited, my friend. Your bald head can get me excited. So do you know what I mean? But anyway, listen, we need to wrap it up. It's been a fantastic program.
Yeah.
DJ Little, let me just ask Ahmed. Ahmed, okay, this is going to be on Amazon and Waterstone, because we have in our community people that actually has been following you, people that supporting you, but these are people who are not accessible to the internet and all that. Would this book be available in the local shops? We still have those people. Will these books be available in the local shops wherein people will be able to access them easily?
Yeah, we're working on that. I'll say, look, it's a whole learning process myself. It's a whole marketing exercise. Look, I want to make it available, accessible in the easiest way possible for people. Because that's the whole point. If you can't get hold of it, then what's the point? Yeah. So we're doing our best. But with an ISBN number, you can order it. You can order it from these stores and get it. Yeah, get it to your shelves. Yeah, absolutely. But as you say,
the local shops. I'm talking about like our local shops, wherein, let's say.
Oh, I see what you mean, like in Peckham.
The Peckham, the East Streets, all the main places, the Acne, where we've got Sierra Leone or even non-Sierra Leoneans following you as well, but who in this day and age, they're still not, exposed to this internet and all that, but they actually want to get hold of this book.
It's a really good point. Yeah, absolutely, and that's something I'd love to make that happen. And yeah, I think it'll be really, really important to make it that so accessible that it's easy for people to get hold of and not be.
I have a suggestion.
We don't want the internet to be a barrier. Go for it.
Sorry, my suggestion would be just print 1,000 copy, give to Ishmael. Ingo okay, I'm gonna hold them shop then.
Listen, I'm just trying to make it accessible for everybody.
I'm not going to forgive people. 90% of those people that you're talking about does not have access will actually order from Amazon. They will order McDonald's from Uber Eats. They know how to tap on their phones, so they can use the ISBN and tap on their phones. And
wow, and I will tell you again, 80% don't even know how to do that this day and age.
Okay, DJ Ish. 99% of them order food every Friday from the local shop.
Ask who is ordering the food. You need to ask.
Dr. Ahmed, it's been fascinating having you. It's been a great topic. And listen, what is your last word about maintaining a healthy kidney and about kiCKeD and so on? How can we live a healthy lifestyle and making sure that even if you get for go auction one part, you keep yourself, forget £10,000 on your account. Make sure you maintain the other half kidney we don't left.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Listen, before I go, big shout out to the Diaspora Voices. Thank you so much. I just want to say thanks also to all our previous hosts, Suhud Kamer, Mr. Dabo Abes, helping us with our shows. Huge thanks to my CEO, Fatih Kamara, not being able to be here today. I hope I've done you justice. All the people who've supported us, people who've turned up today. And look, as a takeaway message, I think, what you need to try and increase your water intake. Sometimes you wonder, well, how much water should I be drinking? And the average person should be aiming to drink, of an average size cup like this. You should be aiming to drink something like 10 to 10 cups of water per day. All right, so increase the water. Definitely have a glass of water before you have your meal. Reduce your salt intake. Start by maybe not adding salt to the rice.
Thank you.
And if you're using the Maggi and other seasoning, don't add any extra salt. Exercise. Start exercising regularly. A lot of people, like you said, DJ Ish, a lot of people say, but I waka all the time, and they go from this clan to that clan. So they do exercise, but we're not seeing the changes. What the sort of exercise you want to do is aerobic exercise, where you raise your heart rate, you feel breathless. If you can walk fast at your own pace, but you get tired and breathless for 20 minutes, half an hour a day, aim to get there. That would help. Aim to slowly move towards a healthier weight. It's not about the absolute weight. Wherever you are, you can make it a little bit healthier for yourself. But first, love yourself. Be happy with your body. Don't do it for vanity reasons. Like literally, love your body. Be happy with your body, whatever your body shape is, and then aim for a healthier weight. and reduce it on your own terms, not on anyone else's terms. Yeah, so I hope that's helpful. Yeah, look forward to interacting with you guys again in the future.
Thank you. We've got you back on the 5th of April. We want to say thank you very much. And one of my suggested topics I will be looking, I have a couple of topics I want to, I haven't discussed this with Ish yet, but this is one of my, as you know, we have to brainstorm on the topics. But one of the ones I would love you to start looking at or thinking of are a couple of things. First, we will be moving into the Ramadan season. So we'd love to talk about healthy lifestyle and Ramadan and the importance of not risking any underlying health issue just for faith. Basically, faith and faith. And it's something I would love you, love us to discuss on the 5th. And then secondly, organ donation within Black, Asian, and minority ethnic. And again, this is just to look at, we're now seeing where the government has made it. If you are to pass away and you don't carry the card, which is you decline, everybody has been made to consent already. Basically, you now have to go in and make yourself on consent that you don't wish for your organ to be donated. So we are all now being consented. So I would love to discuss this with you. What are the ethical reasons behind that, as well as and why? And I know you're not here to represent the government in terms of legislation, but why has that been done? And what can we do as Black, Asian, and minority to ensure that we are either compliant or non-compliant towards organ donation? Those are my two topics that I've got in mind. I don't know what else Ish would want to discuss.
No, we'll brainstorm that one. That one.
You see, Ahmed, that one thing for Monday, whenever they pack you in with so much information, you've chosen to give us one
problem.
So you have to be prepared.
No problem.
And then obviously we'll talk about the ongoing issues about coronavirus Q&As.
No problem. I look forward to it. Yeah, those are really important issues. We'll discuss them. Something big on the news at the moment is something called endometriosis. That's big, affects a lot of women. But yeah, lots of things to, we'll do as much as we can in the time that we have. Look forward to it.
Thank you. And there's a lot of thank yous coming out from the comments as well. Thank yous that's come out from Farella says, thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Saudatu Sankose, thank you, Dr. Ahmed and your team. Congratulations, my darling brother. Well done. That's from Fatih Sharif. And she's saying, Ruby Woo says, all the best with it. I do mind my work at home in the morning after work in the evening. I feel good. So there's a lot of appreciation of your presence today, celebrating and sharing your knowledge on World Kidney Day, and obviously giving us a progress update on kiCKeD, which is chronic kidney disease, Sierra Leone. So thank you to you as well. We look forward to further conversations. So Ish.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you. It's been a pleasure having you on this program, educating us. Thank you very much. We look forward to host you back on the 5th. Thank you.
Just to add that Abdul Blah and Donald, because I only mentioned women names. There are some guys as well that have said thank you as well. So Abdul Blah and Donald Kamara and Koki Mobi says bravo team. So please, Dr. Ahmed, for the next 10 to 15 minutes, please feel free to stay, don't leave. We just want to touch base on what's to come up. We know our sister Aissata Sisejalo has got the C conference this Saturday coming up, and that's the 3rd annual conference, which yourself, you're going to be a guest there as well. Myself and DJ Ish are representing Countdown. We're going to be talking about the 10 benefits of why working exercise is good for you. Watch that video. It's going to be amazing. It's full of humor. It's full of fact, and hopefully it will encourage community members to take on smaller exercise, as you said. So that's Aissata Sisejalo this Saturday. Ish, do you want to say anything about that as well?
Well, I just can't wait. I'm looking forward to that program, honestly. Okay. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done. And also on Sunday, not to forget, is Mothering Sunday. So it's excited. We're just prompting people. Like I said, my tips of the day, people should not overthink this to get your mom, your wife, your sister, your daughters, your cousin, your niece, your girlfriends, whoever you want to get gifts. Don't overthink it. Think about what is the theme for this year. The theme for this year is all about coronavirus. Get yourself the most expensive thing you need to spend on is the gift bag. Spend £10 gift bag and then go to the pound shop buy £1 alcohol gel.
Is that what you've done?
Yes. Listen, I'm coming. Buy £1 alcohol gel, buy £1 hand cream, buy £1 facial cream. You understand? And then put it together and then get a bottle of water for 50p and then put it inside the gift bag and then give it to your mother-in-law, give it to your daughter, give it to your wife, give it to your sisters, give it to your female friends. And because there are so many people to gift, if you tell them, they say, but why they can't give you the lockdown, they don't disturb. We need to continue to maintain this because once coronavirus is done, we don't need to return to bad habits, and that's something that we will be looking at sometime in June when the restriction is going to be relaxing. And Dr. Ahmed, we hope to have you then still, because I really want to home in on the message because there are people that are already ready to go to gear bad habits. I call it the gear bad habits. It's not sincerely, they're ready to strike the reverse gear and forget as if coronavirus has never happened. Whilst cultural change, we need to maintain the good culture. I want to see people that are going to be having parties in the hall. Okay, I will be using my infection prevention control hat to ensure that those who are having parties on the hall not take responsibility. Make sure there is hand sanitizer at the front of that hall, making sure that your guests are washing their hands. If the hall does not make that provision, you make that provision. Ensuring, don't think because everybody has taken the vaccine, we have got rid of coronavirus. No, it's going to be here and it's going to stay here forever. It's going to be a normal living disease. And every year we're going to see a spike in coronavirus. People are going to die just like the normal flu symptoms. So we need to be ensuring that we're following and we have learned lessons. So hopefully with the benefits and the knowledge of Dr. Ahmed, we'll be learning from that. So Mother's Sunday, King Masco is going to be here on Diaspora Voice, not Diaspora Voices, Sierra Gem Media. I'm going to be your host. Please, please, please feel free to join us. And that will be at 6 o'clock because at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Diaspora Voices, I've got the wonderful evangelist Winston Weber, who's going to be doing a special Mother's Day program. Instead of his usual time at 6 o'clock, he will be doing it earlier at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So please feel free. If I reach there, I'm done for the night. Thank you to Dr. Ahmed. Thank you to the Ahmed Kamara family for giving us your time. And stay blessed. Continue to support Diaspora Voices. Please tell your friends to tell your friends. Share, like, and follow us. We're on Facebook and we're on YouTube, Diaspora Voices SL. Over to you, DJ Ish, for the last word.
Right. Thank you, people. I know you forgot this one. People, on the 10th of April, Countdown will be coming up with our first virtual 10K run. It's virtual. You can be anywhere you participate. All you need to do is just to screenshot your time, whatever device you use, whatever app you use, just send it to us. And please, please, people, I will emphasize on this one again. I know the lockdown is still on. We've been home for almost a year. Some people, I mean, we went in on a different size. Now we're coming out on a different size. So please, 20 minutes, just like what Dr. Ahmed said, 20 minutes of your time. Just dedicate 20 minutes. It won't take anything out of you. 20 minutes of exercise. And remember, I know a lot of people are looking forward to going back to the gym, but do you actually get what you're going to pay for? Because you cannot go there and spend £50 a month or £40 a month just to exercise or maybe to lose weight, taking all the supplements and all that, but you're not maintaining your diet. Then you're doing it for nothing. Because if you go, you burn down, let's say, for instance, you burn down 500 calories or 100 calories, and then a chocolate bar is 100 calories. So what's the point? So please, people, let's take our health serious. Please, please, please. That's all for me this night. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. And because of the dedication and the commitment of Farella on tonight's program, we're going to play Innocent Kuti, Pray For Me. And I know she loves that song. So this one is dedicated especially to Farella Ryan Coker.
Ryan Coker. 100% Salon Titi.
All right, thank you. God bless people. Stay blessed, people, and continue to support. Okay, we're free.